Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. Hey, I'm live at 5. 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 Come on inside of the StreamYard room. Let's go ahead and get into this conversation about what does effort look like. What effort looks like. I'm always talking about is taking effort and it's taking time, and I want to kind of give you a breakdown on what I believe it looks like. So maybe the next time that you're in a situation and you're wondering, hey sissy, whether or not you have really given something some effort, you'll be able to measure up. Because sometimes we talk about or we complain about things not happening, things not looking the way we want them to look, things not getting the results that we really want in life. But the question I always ask is, are you really putting effort towards it? Like, are you really doing it? Because sometimes we do busy work and we do busy things, and it makes us feel like we're doing a lot of work. But do you get that you could be doing things, but it could be the wrong type of work? It could be busy, just being busy. Put this in the chat, what effort looks like. So first I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to share with you my challenge that I was having this week and that I had to put some effort behind in order to get the results that I wanted. So my name is Denise Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It is the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. And how do you do this? By building your courage, confidence, and competence so you can accept, believe, and commit to what it is God has called you to do. Okay, so put this in the chat, what effort looks like. So earlier this week, I was in upset. I had shared this inside of one of my communities this morning for Waymaker Wednesday. And I was in upset because I was given and quoted a price for a trip, and from less than 7 days, the price had doubled, right? And it was a sale that was actually going on, but I didn't know that a sale was happening. Hey, Sherilyn, I didn't know that a sale was happening. And no one communicated that information to me. So when I called back to book the trip, I booked it, right? Because I needed to. I didn't want the price to go up again. So I locked it in. But do you get that I wasn't okay with that? Put it in the chat. I wasn't okay with that. I'm about to tell you what effort looks like, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So after I paid the extra fee, I started calling. I called back and I was like, okay, is there something that could be done that I can actually receive what was quoted to me the first time? And that person said, no, it ain't nothing you could do. This is what is locked in. Okay, so that's already 2 calls. The calls that I called to book the trip where I had to pay double. Then I called back to see if something was going to be done. Then after I got off the phone with that person, I still wasn't okay. It just wasn't sitting well in my spirit. So I called again. So I called someone else and asked them, like, did they have a customer service department or a manager that I could speak to? And the gentleman told me, you know what? This is a high volume time. Like, we're getting a lot of calls. You need to actually call back when a manager can talk to you. Because if you talk to a manager now, you're going to have to wait for 30 to 40 minutes. Then, of course, they may be rushing. So just wait, like, put it on pause. So after I got off the phone that time, that was already 3 phone calls one day, right? This don't include the time that I actually called to inquire about the trip cost. This was the day that I booked the trip, okay? So I'm still in upset. I talked to my husband, my boo, and as I put in the actual comment or post that I did today, my husband is a wordsmith. Like, he is great with words. He can say what it is that you need to say without feeling like it's rude or that you're getting nasty with a person. Now, I'm not that gifted. I'm learning, I'm practicing, but I'm not that gifted. So he wrote me an email. I read over it. I added the things that I needed to add. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to sleep on it. And before I laid down, I said a prayer. When I woke up the next morning, I was still in upset. Put this in the chat. Still in upset. Sometimes y'all be going through stuff and you're still in upset. And maybe you don't know, but you need to be checking in to figure out what's happening with you emotionally before you start communicating with other people. So I could feel that I still was in upset because it woke me up out my sleep, and it was the very first thing on my mind. Like, oh my God, I was double priced. I paid double for this trip that I could have paid less last week. So then I said another prayer, put it in the chat. I prayed again, put it in the chat. I prayed again. And after that prayer, I had to really start thinking about how and who did I want to be when I had this phone conversation later today? Because I was going to have the phone conversation, right? How did I want things to turn out? Like, what type of results did I want? And while I sat there and created the outcome and what it would feel like and what I wanted to experience, I started to take action and I called again. I sent the email and I called again. And this time when I called, I got a sales rep. I told her my situation, and then she transferred me to a manager. And after I talked to that manager, guess what, you guys? She honored my request to give me the trip based on what I was quoted the first time, right? So that's a praise report. But here's the thing. That's what effort looks like. Put it in the chat. That's what effort looks like. Because sometimes we think one phone conversation, one meeting, one presentation, one phone call, one email is actually going to get us where we want to go. And I'm going to say no. So I want to tell you 3 things that really help you get what effort looks like. So when you're in a situation and you're wondering, should you stop? 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be no. You shouldn't stop. Don't stop until your it manifests and your life looks the way you want it to look. It ain't no time for stopping. It's only time for action. So the first thing that I did was I prayed. Okay, that's just really number one. Number one, I prayed. Put it in the chat. I prayed. I did. And prayer changes things. And if it doesn't change things, it changes the way you perceive your situation that you're in. But every time that I still felt like I was upset, I prayed, because I knew if I started to have a conversation and I wasn't in the right space, it wasn't going to be well received. So I had to go to God like, yo, I'm upset. I'm going to need you to help me. And I kept asking people that I talked to, should I be upset about this? Should I be mad about this? Yeah, you should be upset about it because they didn't tell you that it was a sale, because if so, you would have taken different actions, right? That's what I think my sister said. And then my husband said the same thing, like, yeah, you should be in some type of upset, maybe a little breakdown, but you can get this overturned. You can turn this situation around. Put it in the chat. God can turn it around. Put it in the chat. God can turn it around. But see, sometimes when we know that God can turn it around, we don't think it requires us to put in this effort in this time. Put it in the chat. It takes effort and it takes time, right? So the second thing that I did was I decided who I wanted to be. I decided who I wanted to be in the situation, right? And I think I put inside the post earlier today, I said that I was calm but courageous. I was nice but direct. And when I decided the conversation and how I wanted it to fall, I was clear in my communication, right? Like there was no not sure what I want, don't know what the request. I was bold in my request. Do you put that? I was bold in my request. And I put that all inside the post. And if you haven't read it, I want to invite you to go to Southside Everywhere. Go to southsideew.com, join the community, and you'll be able to read the post for yourself. Look. So once I decided who I wanted to be and how I wanted to show up, that actually determined the words that I was going to use, right? Because in order for you to be courageous, there's certain things that you need to say. In order for you to be nice but direct, there's certain things that you need to say. So it kind of gives you your words on how you want to formulate this conversation. And look, I don't think it's wrong for you to practice your tone, practice your communication, because you want to be clear with people. And sometimes when we get into certain situations, the nerves are going and we haven't put forth the time and the effort to practice what it is that we're trying to say. Sometimes our communication is clear and it's jumbled and people don't know what in the world we're talking about. So it's okay to practice, right? I know the word of God says, don't go back and forth like I'll say this and they're going to say this and then I'm going to say that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you should practice your conversation, your tone, the way you want it to land with people, keeping in mind the type of person that you want to be and who that person is for you. So the other person on the line, I imagine them being accommodating, nice, that they were able to listen to hear what it was that I had to say. But that's something that I had to prepare myself for before I entered into the conversation. Got that? Okay. All right. Number 3. Make the request. Put it in the chat. Make the request. Now, I told you my request was bold. I don't know what you want to call your request, but my request was, look, I want this money back. I want it back, right? I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't step lightly. Nope. This is my request. I want it back. I want to pay what I was going to pay last week when y'all quoted it to me. That's what I want to pay. That's my expectation, right? So what is that request going to be? What is it that you want as a result? That sometimes we hesitate because we feel like, oh my God, should I really ask for this? Or this is too big and this is too much. No, challenge yourself to ask for big requests all the time, from people, from organizations. Every time you step out from the store that you go to, ask for bold requests. Y'all don't have no coupons here that I can that can help me with this price. Even though you know no sales going on, you would be surprised on how people would honor your bold requests if you would just open your mouth in the sweet song name of Jesus. All right. Number four. This is the coup de grace. This is the mic drop. Keep going until you get what you want. Keep going until you get what you want. See, when I say certain things like that make people uncomfortable, right? When you're not bold, you're not courageous. Maybe you don't even believe that you deserve what it is that you're asking for. But when you know that you deserve what you're asking for, you know it's the right thing to do. You know that it doesn't harm you and it doesn't harm anybody else. Keep going until you get what it is that you want. Did you count how many times I had to call the organization? Did you get? Okay, I called last week to inquire about it. Then when I booked the trip, I talked to somebody. Then I called back to try to get somebody else to help me. They couldn't help me. Then I called again to get a customer service information. They told me don't talk to a manager right now. Wait. And then I wrote a letter and sent the email, right? I sent the email. Then I called again and talked to a sales rep. And then after I finished talking to the sales rep, she then transferred me to a manager. Do you see that? I didn't even mention the praying, the conversations that I had with other people to see how it was landing for them. Does this sound like something that I should be doing? Am I in upset for no reason? I went through the whole process. Now, mind you, now this is like a 24-hour span of time, but I was determined that I didn't want a 24-hour time period to lapse on me swiping that card. Do you understand what I'm saying? And what ended up happening is not only did I get back, I actually paid less than what I would have paid last week. See, y'all don't even understand. But when you put forth real effort and you give stuff time, you get results. Put it in the chat. If I put in the time and I put in the effort, I will get the results. Put it in the chat. If I put in the time and I put in the effort, I will get the result. See, I want you to say it for yourself. Because see, sometimes y'all think y'all can skate and y'all do this little bit of stuff. Yeah, I put a little post out there. I did a little video this week. Yeah, I did a little this. And you want some major results? Did you count how many? I lost fingers. I started repeating fingers. I know I talked to somebody 7, 8 times, not including prayer, praying about it twice, talking to me. I know I probably had about, 10 conversations about that one thing in a 24-hour span. If you put in the time and you put in the effort, you will get the result. The question is, are you willing to keep having the conversation? Are you willing to keep making the phone calls? Are you willing to keep putting in the effort? Are you willing to keep reinventing and becoming who it is you need to be to get the results that you want? Do you know that I had to remain calm? I had to remain in the space of being bold, being courageous, but being nice and being direct and kept. Do you know how many times I had to tell that story of what happened? A lot. To the point where I was like, oh my God, can I just speak to a manager? And you know what that rep said? Now, you know you're going to have to tell me what happened before I send you to the manager, right? I was like, yeah, you're right. But I just want to tell you, go for it. Do what it is that you need to do. What effort looks like is like that. And when you do what it is that you need to do, pray about it, decide who you want to be, make the request, and keep going until you get what you want. I want you to remember that. It is possible. Everything that you dream about, everything that you pray about, everything that you talk about can be yours. You can have it. You can see it. Consistency is the key. You best believe it. Amen to that. Hey, new Tiffany, congratulations on the baby. I'm so happy she is here. Journey has made it. Listen, you guys, that's what effort looks like. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the things that you want to achieve. Get it in. You can have it. You can do it. Just give it effort and give it time. Always looking forward to serving you. I'll see you guys on next week. Next Wednesday will be when I'm back. I leave tomorrow to go to North Carolina to run an event. Please pray for safe travels for me. And I will be back here Wednesday after the holiday. We'll start a new week. Get ready. It'll be Clutch Your Pearls Wednesday. Put it in the chat. Clutch Your Pearls Wednesday is when I will be back. But if you're in North Carolina, you want to connect with me, slide in the DM. I'm going to be in downtown Raleigh. I'll be there starting on tomorrow, leaving on Monday. Always looking forward to serving you. Pray for my family. Pray for the people that I'm going to leave behind, my girls, while they're in school. And I look forward to seeing you guys in North Carolina. Love you. Have an amazing day. I'm live.